what she has to say. Just to give everybody in here a real quick background on Jessica, she has earned every certification I think we offer here on the campus. Did you get your electronic health records?
Yes.
All right, then she does have every.
The only one I don't have is registered phlebotomist, but I'm working on that.
Yeah, well, that's actually not one of the ones that we typically offer. So she's even going above and beyond. So she's got her CPT for phlebotomy, her CET for EKG, CBCS for billing and coding, EHRS for electronic health records, her RMA, her CMA, and CCMA. Plus, she's got CPR, and now she's working on yet another phlebotomy certification. Now, her GPA was through the roof because she had awesome grades. She had all these certifications. She did fantastic on her externship, and ultimately that paved the way for her to be accepted into the DMS program. And the DMS program is only capable of handling 10 per cohort. So that alone says a lot about her track record on campus. And again, I know a lot of students in here are looking to go into DMS down the road. So please, keep those ears perked up because this is somebody who did it. And right now, she's out doing clinical rotations. She just happens to have today off. And she was nice enough to come and speak to our medical assistants. And again, I know some of you guys are going to want to be in her shoes down the road. So again, this is Jessica Mail, everybody. Thank you so much for paying attention to her. She is one of the true superstar MAs that we've had come through the program.
My least favorite thing to do in the world, so bear with me. I know Mr. Menard talks about certifications all the time, and you kind of go, yeah, okay, whatever, and ignore it, but they are actually really helpful. And I know a lot of people in at least my class made excuses. I'm too busy, I have too much to do. I have 3 kids, and I go to school, and my husband travels a lot. I got all of them anyway. So you can't really make a lot of excuses. I have to take my kids to all their practices. I don't always have Wi-Fi, so all of the books I had to buy so that I could study. But I still made it work. I was talking to the girl that I am externing with for DMS on Monday, and she was like, well, it's good to have all of these things anyway because as a sonographer, you hurt your arm. After a while, a lot of people hurt their arm from not doing it right. So it's good to have a backup. Or get tired of it, depends how well you do. So down the road, if I decide I don't want to do it anymore because my arm hurts or I mess up something, then I'll have a backup. Or depending on where I work, I'll have multiple things that I can do. So I can work in the office and do ultrasounds depending on what day or how the day is going. For DMS, I got in because of my grades and all the certifications that I had. Because then they knew, okay, you have to do these certifications for DMS, which are mandatory. She's going to work really hard to get them. I have not gotten it yet because I failed it, but I still have to do it again. It's fine. I just have to work harder on it. It's not as easy. The MA ones are a lot easier than DMS. So anybody that wants to do it, you have to work really hard for sonography. Any questions? I'm not good at this. Yes.
Is there anything else besides your certifications that help you get into the program, like did you have the shadowing or like your previous jobs that you were doing?
They tell you to do shadowing, but no one takes you because like we have different rules and we have to make sure that the people are okay with it. No one wants to take you unless you're in the class. So I did not do any shadowing because no one would take me.
But I've remedied that now. I've got some sites, some cardiologists that I've worked with in the past that do echoes, and so they can, students that are really interested in going into DMS down the road can go to some of these sites that we've got set up now. Unfortunately, Jessica was already well into the program when I got here, and I just didn't have that option with her, but we've been able to help in that area as well. So it would be nice. That way you go in your externship, you get all your externship requirements under your belt, plus your 50 hours of shadowing. Oh my gosh, come on now, don't be silent. You've got somebody here that, like I said, earned every cert that we have. Let's fire away.
I did the externship, and then I just went straight for the DMS. Yes.
At the job you work now, what are some things that, what are some obstacles that you go through?
Outpatient versus ER is really difficult because ER comes first over outpatients, and outpatients don't always like that because then they have to wait. Especially if they're there for a pelvic and they have a full bladder, they get very upset.
So how do you deal with, kind of like, so when you deal with someone who does have, like, who isn't prioritized or outpatient, how do you handle the situation to where, everybody,
If we have an ER, then we have to go to the patient and explain it to them. And if they wait, because sometimes they decide to leave, which is their choice because they are an outpatient, we just reschedule. If they wait for us to finish it, then we definitely apologize when we say we have an ER that comes first. And we apologize afterwards when we go in and we're like, thank you for waiting. Sorry that took so long. Things like that to make it a little better for them. Because normally if you say thank you for waiting, then they're less likely to be really grumpy with you during an exam. Sometimes they're not happy to begin with, so you just kind of have to deal with it, which is all patients. For MA or for DMS? Yes, that I felt very prepared for. Going out onto clinicals for sonography, you get thrown in and you're like, what did I sign up for? But after a while, you get better.
I know a lot of those going to be in the sonography program next year or upcoming year. What is some advice that you can give to them?
If they ask you why you want to be in it, have a good answer. We had someone say because it fits my personality, and you kind of look at them like, what? Because not everyone in sonography has the same personality. Not everyone in any healthcare thing has the same personality. It's like, no, that's a little weird, but okay. Even my teacher rolled her eyes and was like, I don't know what to say to you. Make sure that you talk to them though, because they are both really nice and will try to help you if you want to get into the program. Coming in there and telling them, this is what you want to do, why you want to do it. But they also recommend that you don't work during it because you have to do 40 hours of clinicals for 6 months straight. It's really hard to have a normal job too. I have had 2 different heart surgeries, so I've had different echoes and 3 kids, and I'm like, okay, you can do ultrasounds on anything. Because normally people only talk about babies. Ultrasounds are babies. And I loved that I could see my heart when they did it, and I could see different body parts, and I thought that was really cool. So that was what I wanted to do, but they told me to do MA first. And honestly, I'm very glad I did. Because had I not done MA first and gotten all this stuff and worked so hard, I probably would have given up in DMS. It is not easy.
Second part of the question, what part of being that's why you do your medications, or is it a little bit of everything?
Right now, it's a little bit of everything. I'm at Richmond Community, and they do everything. The only things I don't get to do are vascular, because that's a whole different department. But there are OBs that come in, there's abdomens. So I do a lot of abdomens. I see a lot of livers, which is the hardest thing to see.
So what advice would you give to a student who has failed one of their certifications and just kind of scared to try it?
I failed my first certification here and did it again because I failed it by 2 points. And I was furious. But depending on which certification it is, it's definitely okay, if you read the book, or me, I learn better practice tests. So if you ask me questions over and over again, I do better with that than reading a book. Learn the way that you have to study to do these things, because that is part of the reason why I failed my sonography one. They tell you to read the book over again. Reading the book doesn't help me. I need the practice quizzes. I need the questions to know what I'm getting prepared for. You definitely have to learn how you study and do things to be able to take the exams. And normally here, for the MA ones, I didn't have to pay the full price.
Right.
Even for my second one, I didn't pay the full price. For my sonography one, on the other hand, I have to pay $200 every time I fail. So I don't want to fail again.
Correct. That's why I asked that question, because I'm kind of scared to fail again. When I have to pay that $1,000. So it's like, it's either fail or pay, lose all your money.
Yes.
That's going.
Most of them, you don't have to pay the full price for if you do it the second time. Sometimes they tell you you have to. It depends. But definitely learn how you study. If it's questions, look up questions online. That's what I had to do. I would go through the online questions over and over again.
So just, yeah, because I think like I'm better learning with practice tests. I've always been good at that just when I was in high school. And I just was never thinking like to go back to what I knew. I always felt like, okay, well, if you can help me to study this one, so I like to study how they tell me.
Yes.
But like listening to you tell me like do it the way you need to do it, it's kind of better. So now I know like, yeah, I'm good at practice tests. I've always passed with those. So.
That's what I tried to do, because I'm like, this is how he says to pass this exam. No. It's not, it didn't work for me. Like, I can't do it this way. I need the practice tests.
What's the hardest one you had
For MA or in general?
MA?
My hardest one was billing and coding, but that's because I had a teacher that didn't teach us anything.
That
We
was
would
not
talk-
Miss Dickerson.
It was not Miss Dickerson. No, that teacher is not here anymore. We would talk about random stuff and nothing that had to do with billing and coding. He told us to read a section of that giant binder that they give you during the, okay, we had a giant binder. It was the big circle book, the 10, and he told us to read a section of it and you would pass this. I failed it by 2 points. And I read this over and over again. So yes, that was my hardest one. For the CMA and the RMA, the Kaplan book is wonderful. That is how I passed both of those.
So the Kaplan book?
Yes.
What's it called?
I didn't bring my Kaplan book with me.
It's the Kaplan Review for the CMA. I mean, that's what it's KAPLAN. It's a blue book. I think it's up to maybe the 6th or the 7th edition now.
Because it's a review one, so it has chapters, but then each chapter has questions. So I would go through the questions and read them over and over again. And then there's a practice quiz at the end. So it helps with all of it. None of the other tests really have that. So you have to kind of look them up online. If you do practice quiz, it's better. Like I do.
Jessica, can you tell them, since DMS starts in cohorts, how much you got to sit out, so to say, because of going through the associate's degree program in medical assisting, and then where you picked up with your classmates in that cohort?
We started in January, of 2018 for mine. I didn't have to start till June. I started with physics, regular physics, and then I went straight into the program with sonography physics, which is the certification that I keep having to retake. So I did not have to redo any of the classes that I'd already done. And right now my class is going through the resume class online to teach you how to do resumes and how to do go and apply for a job, and I don't have to do that. So we have a group chat, so they keep complaining about it and going through it, and I'm like, yeah, I don't have to do it. Because I already did.
So you started in June and then like how much did you have left?
I graduate in July, so a year instead of a year and a half.
This July or next July?
This July. Yeah, it's terrifying. I still have a lot to do before that.
Okay.
Where are you taking this month?
Here. In the classroom next door.
What was your clinical rotation like after you got your MA done?
My clinical rotation was at a chiropractor, so I didn't have to do EKGs, I didn't have to do the blood, which is good because I do not like taking people's blood. I don't like people taking my blood even more, but
She
Still
still did it and
certified
earned her
to
CPT. So I mean, she may not have liked it, but she just did it.
yes, I did not like them taking my blood, but I got over it and kind of went, okay, fine, just do it quickly, and learned how to do that. I don't like that at all. But for the chiropractor, I did a lot of the work in the office. So I would type stuff up that they needed or move around the paper because they have paper folders. So I'd make sure that everything was in the folder it was supposed to be in. Sometimes I would get to sit with the patients and help them stretch, and they have the wobble chairs that I get to sit in with them and talk to them. They are literally little chairs that have no back, and all the seat does is wobble back and forth and move. So after they crack your back, it kind of stretches your back out more. Depending on who you are, it's painful because some of them are like, this is not as fun after you've had your back cracked. I'm like, I love it, but I haven't had my back cracked. I just get to stretch out my back. I graduated in November of 2017, and then I started in June of 2018. So I took a little bit of a break, but then I actually got to hang out with my kids again, which was nice. That was my break. Every chance I get, I'm studying. So now that I'm at clinicals, if we don't have a patient, then I'm studying or doing homework, depending on what I have. I have 2 kids that are in gymnastics and 1 that's in soccer. So when I take them everywhere, I will sit there with my book and study, or gymnastics has Wi-Fi now, so I'll be on my iPad studying, or I go home and do it. Run around a lot. So I try to find time to study anytime I can.
So you're gonna graduate with your 2 degrees, right? So you'll have MA degree and then you'll have a sonography.
Yes.
How do you feel about that? Do you feel accomplished?
I do, because I'm 33, I'll be 34 next month, and I'm like, I finally have college degrees because I had my kids young, waited till they were in school to do this, but now we're all going to school together. And like, okay, you do your homework, I do mine.
That's really good because it's like sometimes you think like, oh, especially like we have kids that we think like, oh, like what am I gonna do?
Yes.
You're expressing now you have like not 1 but 2 degrees, and especially in sonography, you'll know that you're not saying secure, but you will be secure. preparing
Yes.
us to always have a job and get great income for you and your family.
Well, my husband has a master's degree, and he got that like a normal human being straight out of high school. So it's like, okay, well now I feel I need to get something
Right.
because he's got all these things. I need to at least be able to stand on my own and be like, okay, I have a college degree.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And I have friends that are older than me that are still working on their college degrees. So I'm like, okay, it's not just me.
No, it's not.
So we're doing this together.
I'm going back to school to be a teacher, so she's still getting her degree.
Yes.
So did you ever work as an MA?
No. I kind of want to, but I didn't. I have too much going on to try and do work and school at the same time. Otherwise, I probably would have tried.
Did you learn?
I didn't have to, so I was a stay-at-home mom first. And once my kids were all in school and old enough, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back to school because I'll be home when they get home. So my husband has changed his work schedule to put them on the bus and I get them off the bus so that we can figure this out because we are from Indiana. We have no family here. So it's just us. We have to figure it out on our own.
How old are your kids?
14, 10, and 9.
Oh, funny.
Oh yeah. I have to fight with my 14-year-old a lot. He's like, he didn't turn in his homework. You don't see me doing this? Why isn't your homework turned in? I'm turning mine in. It's not fun.
All right, any final questions for Jessica? We do have some students that have worked in the field for a period of time that went into the DMS program, like Haley Carter came through the MA program, worked for a while in the field, and I think she's still in the float pool, if I remember right, at Bon Secours. So she's still working PRN. Kim Gravel, I know, is applying right now for the DMS program, and she's working in the field and still plans to work some when she goes into the program. But the facility where she works has weekend hours, so she'll be able to, work on the weekends while she's going through the program. I'm trying to think who else we had that came from MA that's in the program. I know some of them have, in fact, worked for a while as an MA. So, but again, you'll always have that to fall back on, or if you need to supplement your income while you're going through the program or whatever the case may be. But just like Jessica said, it is so intense, especially when you get to those clinical rotations, that you've got to devote that time. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Just like our externship is got to be 40 hours a week, essentially for 5 weeks. Those clinical rotations are the same thing. So you're not going to be able to just work it around your job, maybe the way you can classes when it comes time for those clinical rotations.
And we do 6 clinical rotations, so 6 terms of 40 hours a week. I work at Richmond Community from 7 a.m. to 5:30 at night, 3 days a week. It's a lot, but it's a lot of fun.
Oh, good.
Do we invite
If you work really hard here, then just keep that for sonography because it is a lot harder and you think you've got it and you have to learn all the different diseases that go with the liver, with pancreas, with everything, that it's like, I can't keep this straight. So you have to make sure that you work even harder.
What is, you said you're gonna go to the hospital setting plus the doctor's office, which do you prefer?
I love the hospitals, which I didn't think I would because you work. I've done overnight at hospitals. I've done during the day. But there's so many different things that you can do that it's a lot of fun. And it's like, okay, what's the patient this time? Is it gonna be an abdomen? Is it gonna be pelvic? OB? What do I get to see? How am I gonna scan? So I like the fast pace of the hospital because I do Virginia urology 1 day a week too, which they only get 30 minutes a patient, but so does the hospital for outpatients. And they get 10 a day. At the hospital, I can do 14 a day. And then have ERs on top of that.
So you guys remember what I talked about with schedule matrixing? Okay, and the strict time limits that you have. Again, same thing with DMS. Okay, only there's just more to cover, and you know that 30 minutes comes and goes quick. I'm sure,
Yes,
doesn't it?
it does. Especially when you're first learning and you have to do an abdomen complete, and it's like, okay, I have to do all these organs in how much time? Forget it. Okay, watch the clock. Make sure you get your pictures, but watch the clock.
And what happens if you go beyond 30 minutes?
Normally, before that, one of the actual techs will be like, okay, my turn, and they'll get it done really fast. But we get some angry patients because then we're cutting into the next one's time and we're behind schedule.
There you go. Like we've been preaching with our 15-minute schedule matrix. You start backing up the whole schedule, and if you back up that first patient, then the rest of your day is now off track.
And then you have the patients that come in late that back up your schedule too. Or patients that come early, so the first one's late, the second one's early, and it's like, no. When you take your certifications though, I had a group of friends that I made sure I studied with, and we would all take our certifications on the same day and do all this. That helps a lot. To make sure that you have people to study with and how to do it. Even if it's a different studying method, then you can be like, one of you understands something, you explain it to the other one that doesn't understand it.
The certification's long, like they take like 12 minutes or.
For your certifications, you normally get 2 hours and it's 120 questions.
Is it just written or is it skill?
It's
Or computer skill?
it's all on the computer, so it's mainly all multiple choice. But sometimes, like for EKG, you'll actually get an EKG and be like, what is this? Which type of thing is it? Is it normal? Is it fast? Is it slow? Is it something else?
So you don't have to have to do that hands-on skill now.
I think the longest one I did, longest certification was the RMA, and I went, why is this 200 questions? When I looked at it, I'm like, oh, great.
It's everything.
Yes,
It's a big thing.
it was everything.
So where you going for another phlebotomy?
So I'm a certified phlebotomist, and the other one is registered phlebotomist.
So what's the difference?
There's not a whole lot of difference. It's just registered normally is a little more advanced, just like the registered MA or certified.
Some areas may not accept the CPT. Like if she went home to Indiana, I don't know what, I haven't looked at that.
I don't plan
it-
on going home, so I haven't looked at it.
yeah, but anyhow, like in this area, the CPT is accepted. But if you wanted to, you know, go someplace else, you might have to look into what they will view as an acceptable certification for a specific skill. So, again, it never hurts to earn them all. And I mean, you glean something different from every test that you take, so it's not a bad thing.
How long is that?
It's not a class. It's just another exam because I already did the phlebotomy class.
I'll see. Take another.
Yeah. I just have to study phlebotomy again because I haven't done it in a while.
I don't think there's anything new you had to learn.
There shouldn't be, but I know that for continuing education, there's always, okay, you should do this for phlebotomy or this for EKG, and make sure that you keep up to date on all of that. Which I had to do to keep all my certifications from NJ. So I read the phlebotomy one.
Most of the books that you have, like, the spent for the big segments, recommendations you got, like,
My husband got them online cheap for me because he knew different websites, but yes. So I wouldn't have to pay $100 a book. Or on Amazon, which is where I got the Kaplan one. I think it's $20.
a lot of them on the surgeon books.
How far were you through the program with an MA when you took your first certification?
3 months. Yes. I started maybe a little more. I started in August, the end of August, and I took it in December. So a couple months in.
What was your first one?
The billing and coding. And then I failed it. And then I didn't take another one until March. And I got most of them between March and November.
Do you have to redo the whole course or just?
No, just the exam. That was one of my first actual classes for MA. They did not go in order now.
All right, any final questions for Jessica? Okay, good, good. Well, look, I know she is very responsive.